In this video, I will show you how to use a stream tokenizer to load data from an ASCII file into an application and then send the output to an ASCII file. This is video 9. In this video, I'll show you how to get numerical data into and out of an application. This is an input file here in ASCII format. I'd like you to make a note of the text in blue. This is the pseudocode for the program. We create two objects, 1 and 2. We set a file var for the first object, and here we read data from the file into a matrix, and then within the object, and then from the object into M1, which is the local variable in the main program. We multiply all the elements of M1 by 10 and put them into M2. We're now going to, this is the output file, we're going to move M2 into the output file. We set the file var for the second object, get the dimensions of the first matrix. M1 and M2 have the same dimensions, and then pass in the number of rows and columns into the second object, store the matrix into the object, the second object, and then write it to a file, and then print the contents of the first object and the second object. And this is what happens. This is the output of file 2. This application uses a stream reader, and here we set the file var, get an input stream reader, we pass that to here and get a reader, and we pass it to here and get a buffered reader, and then we pass BR into here and we get a stream reader. What this does is it will read the contents of the file until the end of the file, and it will read the blue text that I mentioned in an earlier slide, which is the word row. Now we effectively don't need that information, so we'll just step on and read the next token, and that now we'll read the value. So now we have a text information in the reader, and this little block of code here will convert the stream reader contents into a numerical value. This value, it returns a double, so I cast it to an int. Similar code is needed for the numerical values. Okay. Where would you use this? Well, you can use it, for example, to store the weights in a neural network. And we have read and write to get the information from the file into an object, and load and store to get the information from the object into the application program. I've loaded the matrix file project into NetBeans, and this is a matrix file object. It has a matrix, a two-dimensional matrix defined here. And readm uses the file stream tokenizer. So stream, a reader, a buffered reader, and then a stream tokenizer. This reads the rows and column information, and down here we're reading the two-dimensional information into a value. It comes in as a double, and then I'm casting it to a float and putting it into the matrix. Further down we have a similar arrangement, but this is used to print the numerical information into a file. And there's the file var. This stores the information from the application into the object, and loads it from the object into an application. This is just a print, so you can see the contents on the screen in the console window. This is the main code. We've got two matrices here, two M1 and M2. I've already described this, where we're creating the objects, getting the information, setting it up for writing to the second object. Just information to come on the screen, and here we've got the where M1, the value in M1 is multiplied by 10 and put into the second matrix. And here we're printing the first and the last, and then sending the output to the setting the file var, storing it in the object, and then writing it to the file. This is the pseudocode that I showed in the slides. So now I'll run the program, and what we see here, this is the information that in M2 after it, all the elements are multiplied by 10. So this is what is in the first object, which is the initial information that we started with, and this is the information that's in the second object. And this data is also stored in file 1 and file 2. I'll show you that as well. Where is it? That's file 1. And this is file 2. Both of these files are ASCII text, so this provides a way whereby you can enter data as ASCII and store it as ASCII. And I hope you found this interesting. Bye bye.